So here's our problem. At DuPont Middle School, 635 students were asked which social media site they updated the most on a daily basis. So immediately from this very first sentence, I can see that the total number of students that were asked a question was 635. And the total of everything always goes in this bottom right corner, so I'm going to type in 635. Okay, and the next sentence says 75 7th graders said they used Instagram the most. So 7th graders, so this is the row for 7th grade, use Instagram, and the column for Instagrams where they meet, I am going to enter 75. So 75 7th graders that use Instagram. Okay. Next sentence. There were a total of 321 students that said Facebook was the most updated. So if I look at the column that has Facebook, the total number of students in this column is 321. That's going to go right here on the bottom. Okay. Next, we know that of the 247 8th graders, so there are 247 8th graders. So if I'm going to go in a row that shows 8th grade, I'm going to type in 247 for the total. We know that out of those 247 8th graders, 23 of them updated Instagram the most. So in 8th grade, Instagram, 23 students. Okay. And then we also know there are 181 6th graders in this school. So if I look at the total number of students that are in 6th grade, that's 181. That will go right here. Okay. And then we also know that of the 158 Twitter users, so on Twitter, in total number of students that use Twitter is 158. I'm going to type in right here at the bottom. Okay, so of those Twitter users, so in this column, 45 of them was 6th graders. So 6th graders that were on Twitter right here, 45. Okay, and finally, we also know that there were 123 8th graders using Facebook. So if I look at 8th graders, they use Facebook. So Facebook in 8th grade, there are 123. Okay, so this is all the information that we were able to fill in based on the information from the problem. Okay, now we have to figure out the rest of this table, and this is actually pretty easy to do. What we have to do is we have to figure out what all those missing boxes are, and to do that, the best way to approach this problem is to look for any row or any column where we know 3 of the numbers and we're missing just 1. Okay, so for example, if I look right here at this column, I have 3 numbers and I'm missing this one. And I also know that those 3 numbers right here should add up to 635. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm sorry, I don't have school calculator, so I'm going to use this fancy one, which you guys will probably have to get eventually when you get to Algebra 2. Okay, so here's a preview of what this calculator looks like. So what we're going to do is, I know that we have 635 total. We're going to subtract 181 and subtract 247, and I know that this number right here is 207. Okay, so let's look for another case when we know 3 things and we're missing just 1. So like if I look at this row, I have those 2 numbers, I'm missing this number right here in this box, and I know the total is 247. So again, I can take 247, subtract 123, subtract 23, and I know that what remains for this box right here is 101. Okay, so now I can look at this column right here. I'm missing again only 1 number, so I know that those 3 numbers have to add up to 158. So I can take 158, take away from it 145, and take away 101. And we know that what's left right here is 12. Okay, so let's look for another one. So like if I look right here in this row, I can figure out how many 7th graders use Facebook, because we know that those 3 numbers have to add up to 207. So I'm going to do 207 minus 75 and minus 12, and we get that this number right here is 120. Okay, so now I can fill in this column right here. I can take 321, subtract 120, and subtract 123, and we get that this number right here that remains is 78. Okay, now I can go this way. Okay, so I know that 181, I have to subtract these 2 numbers, 78 and 45, and we get that this is 58. And finally, I'm going to check with this column. So we know that this is the total, so I just have to add up these 3 numbers together. So 58 plus 75 plus 23 is equal to 156. And now just to make sure that we did everything correctly, we didn't make mistakes somewhere, I'm going to add up these three numbers just to see if they add up to 635. Because if I did it correctly, they should add up to 635. So I'm going to do 321 plus 156 plus 158. And we get 635, yay. So we did it correctly. So now that we filled in this entire table, we can answer the questions that are below it. So the first question is, how many 7th graders use Twitter the most? So if I look at 7th grade Twitter users, that's this number right here. We know that there was 12 of them. How many students use Instagram the most? So we want to know all of the students that use Instagram. So if I look at this column at the bottom, this is the total, so it's 156. Okay, what does 207 represent? So 207 is right here. Okay, so this is a number that is in the total column, so that's marginal frequency. And it represents the total number of 7th graders, representing the total number of 7th graders. Okay, and our final question is, what does 78 represent? So if I look at for 78, it's right here. This is a joint frequency because it's in the middle of the table. So this is joint frequency, okay, that joins two categories. And these categories here are going to be 6th grade and Facebook. So joint frequency representing 6th graders using Facebook. Okay, and there you have it. This is our problem. So I hope you guys see how to do this kind of problem. Okay, so you guys going to go to assignment now and try to do a problem like this on your own. Okay, and as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. Okay, all right, bye.